So I wanted to share some ideas about what's going on today and a lot of the conversation that's going on about George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, and how we instill change. Now, I'm not here to bring any novel ideas or to tell people how they should feel or how they should behave. That is not my place, and I don't want to overstep into a territory that is not mine to step into. But I do want to offer some thoughts and in a way of supporting the movement and supporting the transition that we're moving in as a culture, as a collective, as a community, as a nation, as a world, as a planet. And I really want to just pause here for this moment and recognize this slogan: no justice, no peace. It's an important slogan and something that I don't have any issue with necessarily. But I do want to point out something that can be really useful, inshallah, God willing, in being able to organize a more comprehensive approach, perhaps. If this is something that you're not interested in, or something that you feel like I don't have any wherewithal, perhaps, or any position to speak on, please feel free to close this video and give it a miss. But for those that are interested, I think it's important in our tradition, the hikmah tradition, the medicine and the healing of our tradition is rooted in the traditional cosmology of the four archetypes of the four elements, the four archetypes of the four seasons, of the four quwwat, faculties, and the four virtues, right? So the four virtues, if you're not familiar with them, are justice, courage, clemency, and wisdom. Okay? And so these four cardinal virtues are archetypal qualities, and they relate to faculties within all of us. So courage, for example, connects with the faculty of anger. Clemency connects with the faculty of desire. And wisdom connects and relates to the power, the quwwah, of intellect. And when those three powers are balanced within the human being, that is when justice comes. So justice is not something that one just goes directly into, but justice is something that is worked on by supporting all of the conditions around by which it may arise. Okay? So if you think of it as like a three-sided pyramid, perhaps, where justice is the peak of the pyramid, and it can only be established by the foundations of courage, clemency, and wisdom being in place. This is what I feel like, in this work, justice can be used as balance, can be synonymous with balance. When there is justice, there is balance in the being, in the kingship, in the kingdom, in the sovereignty that's being controlled by the king. And so, while we all seek justice, no doubt, of course, and grave injustice was done, so why shouldn't it be sought? This is not an issue with us seeking justice. By all means, we should seek justice. God wants us to seek justice, inside and out there. But for us to just understand that there's a greater framework, that, when we say that justice needs to be there for peace, why not also include courage? No courage, no peace. No wisdom, no peace. No clemency, no compassion, no love, no peace. Those are all connected. And if you could think of justice as part of a family of ideals, of virtues that have to be there for balance to be truly established, whether in here or in the world, now we can begin to apprehend a greater paradigm by which we can begin to mobilize and organize and develop a mission and a project towards seeking that justice, right? So, for example, if these virtues are all connected by their nature, the more that we come into balance, and the more we balance one of these virtues, the more we come closer to justice in the long run. So if someone is not balanced in their intellect and not balanced in their clemency, they won't be able to establish justice, no matter how hard they try. Similarly, if someone has too much anger or too little anger and it's not balanced, they will not be able to establish justice. It will be impossible. And if they happen to meet with it, it won't be sustainable. They won't know how to maintain it, how to nourish it, how to honor it, right? So it's so important for us to be able to recognize this. No justice, no peace, absolutely. But also justice has its conditions, has its sister, has its cornerstones. And those cornerstones are courage, clemency, and wisdom. And so I say this just to offer a little bit, perhaps, of a understanding of how this works traditionally, how we've always understood the interconnection of these virtues. And this is perhaps a powerful way that we can begin to understand the world, our society, and a path forward that is truly holistic, that is truly aligned with the energies of the world, which is what traditional metaphysics seeks to understand and work with. If this is the nature of the world, then we have to be able to understand the nature of the world and how the nature of the world is run and operational, and how we can begin to modulate that and work with that, right? How we can begin to harmonize with it, because we can't really change it or control nature. How do you control the wind? You can't. You work with it. And so this is a way that we can begin to understand the nature of human beings, the nature of societies, the nature of power, the nature of healing, and the nature of restoration. So I hope that's useful for you all or somebody out there. I was compelled to make this video, so I hope it's useful. And feel free to share some thoughts as to if this makes sense, if this was useful or not, and how maybe we can continue this conversation. Okay. Peace. Peace through justice, courage, clemency, and love. Peace.